This is Millennial Man Motions Entertainment, LLC. It is officially September of 2023, and I'm here with Sailor Dennis. Sailor Dennis, what are your own personal thoughts and opinions on the mugshot to end all mugshots?
Well, right here we have it. Right here we have it, the mugshot to end all mugshots. This man is the most dynamic, the easiest to understand, best communicator we've ever had in the Oval Office. Every promise that he ever made during his first 4 years, he kept us abreast of where he was on each promise. The average politician, you never hear, when they're running, you never hear again what they were talking about to get elected. We're blessed to have had this guy for 4 years, and hopefully we're going to have him for another 4. And I pass it on to you from here.
Okay, I showed you not too long ago a quick video of Trump commenting on that whole thing himself about it. What did you think of his comments about what he said about what happened to him?
Oh, yeah, the election, the non-re-election of President Trump is definitely a hoax. Was a hoax, and now we get a shot at getting him back in there again, the people, because he's the only thing that stands in between us and this controlling, restrictive government who gonna let all the aliens run in here, all the criminals loot stores, businesses going out of business because they're looted, no penalties, no prisons. The DAs, the liberal DAs in every city is just making them sanctuary cities, not only for illegal immigrants, illegal aliens, but for criminals. This is gonna stop, or else we're gonna sink to the lowest of lows.
Do you agree that since they're keeping the mail-in voting intact for this next year's, still keeping all that in from 20 and 22, that the Republicans should also continue to do mail-in balloting early on their end?
Absolutely, yes. We have to play the same game. If this unsolicited mail-in voting continues, then we got to play that game.
When they didn't allow people to count the votes being seen, wasn't that kind of shady back in 2020? How they didn't let the votes be seen for counting?
Of course,
right.
Because it's supposed to be election day, not election weeks.
Right.
They were counting votes weeks after. It's all shady.
Oh.
It has to be done in one day.
One day.
It's funny, with the paper ballots, with the old paper ballots, no tap dancing around all this stuff. By midnight, we knew who was the president was, or who was elected and who wasn't. Now, with all this criminal activity going on, instead of just a straight up paper ballot, it takes days and days to get the results.
And they're doing it a month or two early. It's all very crazy how that's done like that way, and it seems to be intact that way. So we have to play the same game in that way. That's the only way. But then still, if they don't let people count the votes for being seen and stuff, all that shady stuff from 2020 could come right back again.
We got to play, like as you said there, Benito Juarez. We got to play the same game. We got to play the same game as the Democrats, and then
do you think, like me and Suzanne, that of Ginger rather, sorry, that it was the right decision for him to not participate in that first debate?
Yeah, it was definitely the right decision, because that was nothing but an amateur hour. Half of those candidates, so-called candidates, can't even walk and chew gum at the same time, and the other half can't tie their shoes.
Right. Okay.
We need experience. We don't have any time for on-the-job training now. We need experience in there. President Trump has demonstrated that he has a plan and he takes action. He's like yourself, Benito Juarez. He's a man of action, and that's what we need in there.
My own personal thought and opinions about the mugshot thing that came out around Thursday, Friday, August 24th and 25th, which I found out about with the internet inside of Israel, the Holy Land, when I was there recently. I personally believe that no other candidate or other person going into all this would get their fingerprints done and do that. He knew what he was doing when he made that face. But I think hopefully it all works out, but no one can take any of this for granted. We still have a year and a few months to try to get this right, to try to save the country, or in November 2024, we won't even have a country anymore. It's getting worse and worse, the way they power, control, restrict the communication. restrict and just all this woke
Well,
nonsense.
putting a limit on theft. Theft is theft. You're not supposed to steal. You're supposed to go to jail, pay a fine, go to jail if you steal. Not having a $900 what do you call ceiling that you could steal up to. These stores are going out of business. High-end stores
Right. So
they're getting robbed by gangs of youth.
Right. So Trump voluntarily, well, I think it was voluntarily, went into that thing, got the fingerprints in the mugshot, but you don't see that happening to Hunter or Hillary now, do we? No.
Well, there's two different levels of the law.
Right.
The law is it's paid out differently to the to the conservative person versus the liberal person.
Two-tier justice system.
Right. The liberal person gets all the breaks. Look at Sleeping Joe.
The way that they ran that 2020 election, which was very shady in so much, all kinds of ways, that they can do that exact same thing in this thing coming up now. So tell the audience what you think the best way is to move around all their BS nonsense that they're going to try to pull to get a Democrat in again. What do you think we should do? What will you say or do if it ends up happening that Trump is not the nominee?
If Trump is not the nominee, we have some good people. We have some good people running on the Republican side. It could be Ron DeSantis. It could be Tim Scott from South Carolina. There's a lot.
I read something recently that Tim Scott might participate in future debates.
Oh yeah, well he's a candidate, and President Trump didn't take part in the amateur hour. He didn't need to. He got bigger ratings somewhere else.
Right.
And it gives all the small fries a chance to.
If Trump hopefully does become the nominee, would you say that, like we said, a few of us talked about together offline, off cam, that Carrie Lake will most likely be the VP choice?
She'd be a good one. She'd be a very good choice. She's straightforward. She don't tap dance around either. You don't have to mince words or break out a dictionary to figure out what she's saying.
Okay.
She'd be a perfect running candidate with President Trump.
All right, and now what are your final thoughts and opinions on President Trump's mugshot from August?
He took a bad situation and turned it into a plus. He has the mindset to do that. That poor man has been through so many trials and tribulations from these Democrats and these liberals, and he keeps his head up and he keeps making progress. And everything he does, his results are positive. His attitude is positive. And that's the way that this country is gonna revive itself and grow once again.
I just got this recently. If anybody's offended, well,
buy the shirt?
Yeah.
Be proud of that shirt.
Never surrender.
Put it right next to your American flag.
God bless the American flag. God bless Trump and America. And we're already over 8 minutes in for the long version. So I hope you guys got something out of this with all of Sailor Dennis's thoughts and opinions. We will continue to watch how the race goes for the next year and a few months. Hopefully it ends up being good for America and not bad, but we'll find out in time, God willing. And we'll see you in any future videos. Thanks again for coming on. And everybody dance and have a good time. This is Sailor Dennis and Millennial Man Motions Entertainment, LLC, signing out till talking about the second Republican debates.
Beautiful.